CrimeWave at sea.
CrimeWave!
We went on our first cruise. It was amazing.
Twas absolutely spectacular in many ways.
Also, just like extremely overstimulating, but in mostly good ways. Just so many sights and sounds. It's an entire city on a boat. It was trippy.
An entire city with so many things that you have in a small town. Rather exciting things that you have in a city.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed so much of the boat. Like walking up to it, the word that came to mind was, wow, look at this monstrosity. But I promise I mean that in a good way. Like looking as far as you can see, just nothing but man-made material. We watched a cool little documentary, and one of these boats can take like 6 million man-hours.
It's insane that they can even make that this is a thing. It's insane that we can go on a cruise on the ocean. It blew my mind. The whole experience was just so powerful and honestly kind of life-changing for us to be around these creators that we love so much, that inspire us, and just to see them do their work, and it made us want to get back to God crime. So here we are, everybody.
It did. So we are back.
We are back in business. We've got some bonus content for you coming out every week. We decided that we're going to do this new segment, Sin and Tell.
Sin and Tell.
Where we talk about the God crimes we've committed each week, and just give you a little more insight into our day-to-day and hang out with you guys more. So we wanted to talk all about CrimeWave at Sea, the podcast true crime festival on a cruise ship. And we just got back from that last week. We are still fighting off the Florida sickness. It gave us.
Yep.
So I'm sure we're not the only ones on that boat that are now having this, but we'll survive. And it was our honeymoon also, so that was really cool.
We are doing so good with going on podcast related vacations.
Yes.
Of course, we met at the Time Suck Summer Camp 1.0, as we affectionately call it, and honeymoon on CrimeWave at Sea, the very first of its kind.
We figured it was just like so full circle to go to the very first Time Suck with Dan Cummins podcast summer camp, and then of course, this is the very first time that Dan and his wife, Lindsay, are going on a cruise for podcast-related reasons. We were like, that just feels right.
It felt very full circle. I felt like we went out into the ocean onto a boat and sailed in a circle.
I think, yeah. Yeah, we did.
Pretty much.
But so, yeah, shout out to Dan and Lindsay. It was so awesome to get to see them. We got to talk to them a couple times. Just such wonderful, loving people. And we got to see Ed and Henry from Last Spot on the Left, our other favorite podcast creator bros. Got to see them perform live, which was hilarious because they didn't talk about anything, and yet they entertained us for over an hour.
Absolutely.
It was fabulous.
10 a.m. show. Never thought I would enjoy a 10 a.m. show as much as I did, but they're stinking fantastic. They're so fun and funny.
It was a lot of swearing, a lot of Holocaust jokes, and a lot of pretty disturbing sex comments for 10 a.m. But we were all expecting it because it's fucking Ed and Henry.
That's right. And then I have to say one more shout out to Richard. From the Unexplained podcast.
Unexplained. Super nice man. He has this paranormal podcast out of London. And he was there by himself, and it was just so nice to get to make friends with him and just be inspired by another person who's committed their life to podcasting and who has succeeded doing it. This is such a cool medium. I'm proud to be starting our own little podcasting endeavor here.
Richard had one of the shows that was one of many shows that we hadn't listened to before going on the ship.
That's right.
And so we got to connect with him as a person first, which was really cool. And he was so patient and he was so kind in explaining his story, like just his journey to how he got to where he is. And I found him to be just an inspiration. And it also showed me that there's an audience for all kinds of things. Like what I love most about the people that we got to meet was everyone has very distinctive personalities, very big personalities. Maybe some people are a little bit more quiet, but if people have something interesting to talk about, there's going to be an audience for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was really cool because we got to talk to Richard in the hot tub. And like Danny was telling a lot of his story about being an ex-J-Dub. And Richard was so interested and asked really cool questions. And honestly, just like talking to another podcaster about the topic that we want to talk about, it was really inspiring to realize like we do have a valuable story worth telling. And like, let's just sit down, hit record, and do it. So thank you to all the creators on CrimeWave at Sea. It was an incredible experience, truly. Also wanted to make sure while we're talking about the cruise to shout out IRL Events, in real life events. They did such a good job. And Robert, our MC, who he shared with us that he's an actor.
Yeah.
He's not really an MC, but he did it for this. And he was so good. Like, Robert, you're an absolute stud.
Good job, my dude.
You did awesome.
Yeah, we had so much fun. Loved that you just like came up to us when we were just chilling on a hammock and we're like, hey, is everything going good? And I was like, oh yeah, it's just fantastic. And it was just so nice to talk to you.
We have a studio dog right now.
A studio dog who's given us the biggest sigh I've ever heard her give. Doggy, Luna Bean. Shout out to Luna Bean.
Shout out to Luna Bean, our
on
studio
the mics.
dog. She's not going to be allowed in our regular episodes, but I figure since this is bonus content, she can make her voice heard.
Otherwise, we silence voices around here. That's how I grew up, so, you know.
But yeah, Robert, we had a great chat with him while we were literally lounging on a hammock on an island, and he just came and talked to us, and it was great.
It was awesome.
So, you're an awesome dude.
Yo, and Robert handled like the very final event like an absolute pro. Yeah. It was absolute chaos.
It was.
Every single game just devolved into madness, and there were some excitable members of the crowd.
Honestly, we were all so exhausted by that point. It was so late at night, too.
Oh my gosh.
So the final event, like we were just talking about, where Robert was dressed as a cop, and it was like crime games, right? Like, and all the podcast creators had to come out and do these ridiculous games, and it was just really fun to see all these like professional adults basically having to run around and do all this crazy shit while a bunch of other adults like yelled at them and cheered them on, and it was a big highlight for me, honestly. And I took some pictures of like poor Dan and Ed, you know, like trying to flip a water bottle and have it land on the table, just like making these creators that we look up to do this stupid shit. It was wonderful. Thank you.
It was
IRL.
Awesome. Yeah. And of course, you know, big fun part was when you got chosen.
I was chosen.
You got to go down and participate with Dan and Lynze to be wrapped up like a mummy.
Yes, that was so hilarious. So it was this game where you're supposed to like mummify the victim or something, and so they had toilet paper, and I was the victim, and Dan and Lynze wrapped me up with toilet paper. And I really got to learn a lot about their dynamic, because Lynze is so organized, and she had this wonderful like, okay, Dan, like the eye contact they made was so intense, and she was like, I'm gonna go this way and you go that way, and like, Maya, you just stay perfectly still and we'll just wrap you. Like, it was so well put together, and I just
so methodical.
Like Lynze is such a legend. Like, in that moment I was like, oh, this woman is a big reason why Dan is successful. Like, because she is so good at keeping their shit together. Like, that ability has allowed him to be the creative weirdo that he is. And like, it was just really beautiful to see their dynamic together and to recognize like, oh, all of these projects have been like something they've done as a partnership. And I can really see that. And it's always nice to be able to like acknowledge the women that are like behind male creators, because there's usually one there. Anyways, it was cool. It was just a really cool experience to get to like be in their dynamic with something so ridiculous. Yeah. And the way that he listened to her was also really beautiful. Like, good on you, Dan. Like, you guys have such a lovely relationship, and it's just so fun to be around.
Mm-hmm. And I was just screaming until my throat was sore, just cheering you all on.
And we won!
Yeah!
Woo! I was the best wrapped victim. Wow. What a title.
Oh, man. Like, so many things are coming back to me in flashes, right? Like I remember one of the first events that we did was in the solarium, is like the introduction for everyone, and a couple of times we yelled like "Hail Satan," which was super fun.
Ed got us chanting "Hail Satan, Hail Satan, Hail." So there were 400 people yelling that on a cruise ship.
Yeah,
there were other normal people on this boat. And what was it that Henry kept saying?
Yeah, Henry kept saying, like, remember, we're not on the boat with them. They are on the boat with us.
Take the boat.
And then take the boat. Take the boat. And at some point he said, like, yeah, guys, remember, like, these ships, they have, like, an armory. So we got to get the guns.
Get the guns.
Yeah. I was just hoping that some nice, local Floridians were just cruising by and they're like, what the fuck is happening? Why is this why these tickets were so cheap?
Yes. So we learned from another person that just bought tickets as a Floridian that the tickets for our boat were super cheap. I guess because they didn't. I don't even know why. Like they were trying to fill the boat and only 500 podcasts.
They sold out.
But they sold out of our event. So that's what's
yeah.
so interesting to me is but the other people on the boat, the boat company itself was like, we need to sell more tickets to fill this cruise.
Yeah. So that was another major dynamic that was at play, because for whatever reason, I thought it was going to be the boat would be full of us and like our peeps.
Me too originally.
Yeah. But there were so many juxtapositions where I was in the elevator, looking for Maya and the crew because I had to go to the bathroom or something. And I was dressed in my rave outfit. So my mesh shirt and my neon, pink pants and my neon visor cap, and just standing next to some little family of 4, just some apparently local Floridians that just got a deal on whatever. And their theme night was dress in white. And then there I am in basically my rave outfit with sparkly makeup, just ready to go.
And people would come up to us.
And they just clutch their children a little bit closer in the elevator.
People would come up to us and be like, oh, what event are you going to? Because you're not dressed like the rest of us. But that was part of the fun, is we really did kind of stand out as the podcast crew. You could tell who there was a part of the podcast crew very easily. Lots of tattoos. Yes. A lot of us were extremely pale. We definitely didn't live in Florida.
Yep.
Lots of crazy beards, I noticed as well.
Mm-hmm.
And just in general, too, just the cool, podcast merch and, true crime and dark humor and just, not neurotypical normal looking. You could kind of tell who was part of the podcast group immediately, which was really fun.
It was totally cool. Another really fun thing that happened was I was in the elevator, and it was probably on the Murder at the Met Gala night, which was our theme, and this ship was something else. And I had someone in the elevator ask me they understood that it was a true crime cruise, and someone just innocently asked me, so why do y'all listen to true crime and stuff, horrible things that happen? And I gave him some answer, but that really stuck with me, And later on, I feel like I came up with a pretty good answer. And basically a reason why I'm a fan of, I guess I would say true crime, probably more time suck in the sense of irreverent comedy, history. But either way, dealing with dark subjects, is because if you can talk about these dark things, it then becomes more manageable to deal with them. And I feel like you get equipped with the skills to deal with your own dark stuff, basically. And that is a huge reason why I think that all the people that were on the cruise were so much fun, because there are people that were willing to deal with dark subject matter and to then conversely be able to deal with their own stuff. But I just feel like everyone that was there was just so open to be able to talk about anything. Our friend group, I feel like we were talking about deep and heavy stuff, I don't know, within an hour of meeting and connecting with them.
It's the authenticity too, right? Darkness is a part of reality. And I do think there's a certain desire to be more authentic. And part of that is being honest about the darkness. So it's not that well, and also our community, yes, there's a lot of true crime, but there's also a lot of irreverent humor. There's a lot of like bringing lightness to the darkness. And I think that that's also an important aspect of it, is that we don't want to have to talk about the weather or sports or like, I don't know, just like basic bitch things. Sorry if you're a sports fan, but that's not really what I meant. But I want to talk about like, deeper like life stuff, like the big topics, the authentic topics, like what is your passion and what do you think about this weird thing? Or have you heard, just a lot of people that wanted to talk about super interesting, like authentic things. And those are the people that generally seem to be drawn to these types of podcast communities that we've found so far. And also shout out to our new friends.
New friends, Crime Cruise. No, wait, no, hold on. I'm sorry. What's our name?
Oh, wow. I'm so sick.
Yes.
The Cruise Crew.
The Cruise Crew.
The Crime Crew, I think we were thinking of calling them, but that just makes it sound like we commit crimes together.
Yeah, Crime Crew. It doesn't work as well.
We were the Cruise Crew. Austin, Caitlin, and Sutton, thanks for being our friends. And we now have a little group chat, and we hold each other accountable to our artistic pursuits.
Yeah, and our creative living. Like, all of us are trying to live a more creative life. And our group chat has been so fun just to be able to check in with each other, and we want to just keep ourselves like accountable. We want to keep ourselves accountable in like a fun way as buds and friends, just check in on a regular basis. And yeah, it's gonna be great.
And it's just so encouraging to be around other creative people, because some of us, like Danny and I, we have creativity just like in our bones, and we need to tell our stories, and we need to be creative people. And being around other people that feel the same way is so inspiring and so motivating, because we all get to tell each other like, hey, you're not wrong, you're crazy for wanting to express yourself and for being creative. It is important. It's an important part of being human. And we all have a right to tell our stories.
Yeah. Dan Cummins recommended a book during Summer Camp 1.0 in the Q&A. One of the books was Big Magic by the author I can't think of right now, but she wrote Eat, Pray, Love. And I listened to the entire book. Oh, I'm sorry?
Gilbert? Isn't her name Gilbert?
That sounds right. Oh, sorry, Miss Gilbert. You're wonderful. Anyway, the book is all about just creative living. And some of the big takeaways in it are that you should give yourself permission to be creative, because you have just as much as a right as anyone else. And that's the big takeaway. And I'm absolutely trying to do that now.
I really believe that it's a human right to express yourself and be creative. It's such a intrinsically natural thing to do. I mean, you look at children, and like, children need to create. It's just who they are. We're imaginative beings, and finding a way to create as an adult can feel so daunting and almost impossible, especially in this society that kind of looks down on adult creativity. If you know what I mean? Like, it's not productive to be creative necessarily, but it is. I would say that it's like soul productive. It's emotionally productive. It makes you a more balanced, healthy human being. It makes you more just satisfied in your life too, to express yourself creatively.
Creatively?
It's not supposed to be a hard word.
That's a creative way to say that word, though, which I like.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So if I can jump in, I like that you use the word declare, because just like the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, it's a thing that you have to declare that you're taking, and I think creativity can be similar. Like in regular society, you're kind of expected to be kind of like a drone. Like, all that anyone wants you to do is to go to work, do your job, make the company money, pay your taxes, do all the stuff. And if you just kind of get caught on that treadmill of being an adult, you can feel like a drone that's not doing anything with their lives, And so I think like trying to live a creative life, trying to be expressive is so important for you just as a human being, and to feel like a human being.
And it doesn't have to be what pays your bills, and it doesn't have to be 100% of your life. And I think sometimes we get caught up in that as well. Like for us, like we would love, of course, to be full-time podcasters, but we're just getting started. So like to think of that, to put that pressure on ourselves now wouldn't be appropriate. So it's like, we're going to keep working our little tech jobs. We both work in IT, fun fact, work on computers.
Yep. That's why our sound quality is so good, because this girl is working on it.
And hopefully it'll just keep getting better. But yeah, but if we were to say, oh, the only way that we can afford to spend time on a creative project is if it pays our bills and is productive and is our number one source of income, like to tie your creativity to your income is not always appropriate. And I think that it's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't start being creative, because they can't see how it could make them money. And I think that, as always, that's our societal pressure, that anything that we spend our time on, there needs to be some kind of monetary gain from it. And even if there can be at some point, because, you know, like we're selling a product here, like our voices and our stories, and hopefully some merch soon and all those wonderful things. But just being creative for the sake of being creative is so incredibly valuable. So I just want to encourage everyone, like, take that pressure off yourself, do something creative, even if it's just because it feels good. It doesn't have to even end up being something other than just, I enjoy doing this.
Yeah, makes you feel alive. Alive, I say. Alive.
Sound like you were falling off a cliff. Alive. Speaking of dying in weird ways, we didn't die on the cruise.
Thank God. Didn't fall overboard.
Nobody fell overboard. No one was murdered.
No one was murdered on the crime cruise.
The crime cruise. No murder. So good job, guys. Good job not accidentally inviting any serial killers on the cruise. And I mean, let's talk about some of our favorite things on the cruise. I mean, obviously, like seeing Ed and Henry from Last Pod on the Left was a huge highlight. Seeing Dan and Lynze from Scared to Death and Time Suck, huge highlight for us. Meeting Richard from Unexplained. Like, shout out to all of our creators. I loved getting to meet our new friends, and I loved all the food.
The food was good.
The food was actually pretty good. Okay, but big thing that we learned. So they had us sit down at these like fancy tables. It was supposedly like this fun like group dinner thing. And the dinner space was really nice. It felt like being on the Titanic, quite frankly.
Yes, absolutely. Almost in an unnerving way. Made me feel like I was on the Titanic.
I agree. It was a little unnerving with the huge chandeliers and everything.
Yeah.
And also, I was wearing my swimsuit with like a little like dress thing over it the first night, and I was still wet, and I was like, this just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I don't think we adhered to the memo of like, oh, there's a certain dress attire. I think,
didn't know.
But yeah,
I didn't
even
know.
Still.
No one told us.
Yeah, I felt a little bit bad too, because like I was like, I think my swim trunks are probably dry enough, but I for sure left that little seat a little bit wet. I feel bad.
That's your God crime.
That was my God crime for the day. Yeah, that particular day.
Yeah, but like, so something we learned is like, that was like fancy dining that we were like supposed to do, but there was this whole huge buffet also happening at the same time. And the downside with the fancy dining is that you're only supposed to pick like 3 things and they bring them to you on these fancy plates, but it's not actually very much food.
No, it's like 100 calories per dish. That's an exaggeration, but that's how I felt.
That is absolutely... Yeah. So we discovered this gigantic buffet upstairs, and we started to go to that instead, and it was much better.
Yeah, 'twas a wonderful. You know, I mean, I just discovered, I'm like, oh, fancy fine dining where you have a pile of forks and knives and spoons on each side of the plate, and then
silverware.
You work your way inwards. It's a thing that just isn't for me, you know? I mean, kudos to the people that enjoy this sort of thing. And then, I would say that it made me feel uncomfortable being in like such a fancy dining space, if that makes sense. So yeah, I was just much more at home at the buffet, but hey, that's okay.
That is okay. It's nice to discover. I mean, honestly, the food was better at the buffet. Like, sorry to the fancy dining place, but it really was.
Strangely, you know what? The buffet
weird.
Crew were just crushing it.
They were crushing it. Shout out to those chefs. Oh my God. But I will say, I definitely miss just having endless soft serve ice cream whenever I want. And
that was a treat. And then I'm going to say, yeah, like it was just fun just to be able to get pizza at any hour of the night, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time. I really enjoyed that.
That's definitely like the perks of the cruise for us were for sure like the people and the food. I mean, it was just really need to be on that vessel. Although I will say we got hit with some seasickness on day 3 because we were just like at sea all day. And the boat, she was a rocking. It was kind of insane.
Pretty wild. We were confined to our quarters, basically. Yes. But no light came in that room at all, which was kind of cool for like trying to actually sleep and rest up.
Yeah, it turns out that the super cheap, like peasant class rooms were actually better for sleeping.
Yeah, we had heard that some of the other rooms, well, of course, if they would let light in, and then also apparently when they were higher up on the deck, they would feel a bit more of that like pitching and yawing. So people were experiencing a touch more seasickness, I guess, than we got.
Yeah, we heard from Jamie. Shout out to our friends Jamie and Amy as
Jamie
well.
And Amy.
They're the film crew for Dan and Lynze, and they were on the boat too, helping out. And they were saying that in Dan and Lindsay's room, it's like a nicer room, right? Because they're like creators and they got a fancier room, but that you could even see the curtains swaying because the ship was so like knocking back and forth that day. And we were just downstairs in our little like cave.
Just passed out on the Dramamine.
Sleep pod. Like no windows, no curtains, just pitch black. Probably the most darkness I have ever had in sleep ever.
So I have a quest for you.
Okay.
All right. We saw that running a ship that big and serving so many thousands of people means that there's going to be so many different types of jobs for the crew, right? And so I want to ask you, what is a job that you think you would love on the cruise of someone that you've seen? And then what would be a job that you would just absolutely hate?
I don't know if
Can I go
there's
first?
a job that I would love. Okay, yes.
Okay.
You go first.
I like to do that with people. I like to throw out a question and then give them a second to think about it. So I loved the little hats that the soft serve ice cream guy was wearing. And I thought this man might have the best job in the world. He's just sitting on like this little promenade deck standing with like a giant, car-sized ice cream machine in the middle of the walkway. And he's just wearing his little hat. And he's pulling either a white lever for vanilla or like a brown lever for chocolate. I think he would pull them both for like a combo of the soft serve.
Swirl.
But he would just grab a cone, pull some levers, dish up a pretty looking ice cream, and then hand it to like a soaking wet 8-year-old. That would just make their day. They would just light up like the sun. And that was his job. And I was just like, God bless you, sir. Thank you for your service.
The bringer of joy.
The bringer of joy. But I was like, oh my God. I think I would totally love to serve soft serve on like a cruise all day long, just for like a week. I think you would just be the most popular man on the entire boat. Like if something goes horribly wrong and like, it devolves into like a survival situation, the ice cream man will be universally beloved.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's a poop cruise, you still got the ice cream flowing.
Keep the ice cream flowing. That's the only thing that keeps us devolving into, some kind of a
pure chaos
society. All right. So I would totally do that job. That'd be super fun. And then I'm going to say that a job that's totally necessary, but I don't even know if it's real. I think it's real though. So I think that somebody has to walk around like the entire ship all day long, maybe like testing water and like, I don't know, out of different sinks, out of different areas. And it's totally necessary.
Like water quality surveyor.
Yeah, it's important. That's not the worst job I can think of on the ship, but that would be one that I just don't want to do. And those reasons are personal, and maybe I'm not even going to explain it. I don't want to do that job though.
I think I would want to be like one of the like cruise director people that gets to just be like, "Hey, everybody, get a pina colada. We're like having a party. Woohoo!"
Oh, that's a
like
good
the
pick.
Announcement person.
Yeah.
Because I would definitely get bored of doing the same thing all day long. I couldn't. Like my ADHD would just drive me insane. Like if I was just doing the ice cream. Like if I could do ice cream for a couple hours and then do something else, maybe. But if I was like the cruise director, like again, I don't know if any of y'all have seen the Poop Cruise documentary. We had put it off. We were like, we're going on a cruise. We cannot watch that.
No,
it's on Netflix. Can't do it. That's just a horrible idea. And then we did it. And it actually ended up being hilarious and a much better documentary than we were expecting. I actually do kind of recommend it. You do get a feel for what being on a cruise is like.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the worst that it could possibly go, it's like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not great.
It's not great.
Still, it's totally manageable.
Yeah. And, but like some of the characters on the documentary were just hilarious. And I did really love the cruise director. She was like an Eastern European woman.
Oh my God. Cruise directors with the accents, man. They
So
pick them that way
cool.
on purpose. They're so charming. They're so fun. Yeah. Our lady had like a really fun Spanish accent. Like
Yeah,
she kind
that's
of
right.
reminded me of like Ana de Armas's accent.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can you do a little bit of that
I
for me?
absolutely can.
Oh,
I wish I
no.
could, but it's just so cute and charming, and it was so much fun. Yeah, I have to give it up to you. That is the absolute best job because, like,
Yes.
1 second you're like yelling at kids to like go do some scavenger hunt thing, and then the next you're like introducing the ice show, ice skating people.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you're like, I don't know, kicking off some other fun festivity or event, but you get to go all around the ship. That is a million times better than my job.
Yes, victory is mine. But like she even showed up at the end of the musical. We got to watch this like Broadway quality musical show. That was very impressive.
Yeah, very
and then all of a
impressive.
sudden the cruise director walks out like in a sparkly jumpsuit, like, "Hey, did y'all enjoy the musical?" I'm like, "Where did you come from?" It's so cool that she gets to be a part of all those things.
Yeah, she just gets to magically appear in any event or any restaurant or place at any time on the ship, and it totally kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And then I also liked her announcements in the morning. She'd be like, "All right, guys, like, do we have a day planned for you?" Even though it was kind of annoying and obnoxious and I didn't love it. I think that if that was your job, it'd be kind of fun. Overall, awesome experience. I'm sure that we'll be talking about it more just as we go. Like memories will pop up. Like I just remembered we did these epic water slides. Like that was a whole day, like climbing 50 flights of stairs and shooting our bodies down these tiny little chutes of, it was horrifying in the best way.
Yeah, that was so much fun. That was a big highlight of the trip
It
for me,
was.
just going and doing water slides. And then like you and me, I feel like we're the only like adults that were there most of the day. You know? Like it was a lot of other kids. And I was like, look at us and our little 30-year-old bods-ish and just cruising up and down these stairs. Because like the tallest one was like 13 stories
It
or
was
something.
insane. It was like a full building, a huge tall building.
Yeah,
of
someone said
stairs.
it was like the tallest water slide in, I don't know,
North America? I
North
think?
America or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. Pretty cool. A lot of fun.
It was really cool.
Heck yeah. Young at heart.
Young at heart, always. That's the goal. Well, we're excited to keep bringing you these sin and tell side stories or whatever we're calling them. Oh my God. I was like, side stories, we can't steal that. That's last spot on the left. But that's the concept. Just some extra bonus content. And we love you. And we'll listen and talk to you more soon.
Talk to you more later. Bye.
Bye.